Hi guys, so today I'll be showing you exactly how to buy and sell shares on the stock market. I'm talking about companies like Safaricom, KCB, Britam, all these companies, household names that you know about. Today we're going to be learning how to invest in them. These are all companies with growth prospects and upward mobility, so why not jump on that train? We'll be covering how to use the trading platform, what stocks to buy, what are the fees, what's the minimum investment. So everything that you need to know about stock market investing in local stocks, you're gonna find it here. And please don't forget to subscribe. Great, so today I have my friend joining me. She's called Nyambura. Hey Nyambura.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks for joining me on the video.
Anytime.
So how much exposure do you have to the stock market?
I'm afraid I have little to no exposure in the
Little
stock
to no
market.
exposure.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why I have you here, because many of the people who will watch this video have not traded before, have no idea how to start. And so the questions that you ask, many people will probably have the exact same questions. So feel free to interrupt me as we open the account, fund it and trade with any questions that you have along the way.
Okay, I will.
Ready?
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. So we're going to be using the AIB DigiTrader app. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have briefly.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it was actually the first fully automated app that gives you access to the local stock market in Kenya by a regulated broker. So it's a great app to use. And basically, this is how the interface looks.
Okay.
So you can get it on any Play Store. All you do is open a new trading account. It'll ask you for all the details. I mean, if you open any program, these are the usual boring details that you have to put in, but it's quite quick. So I'm just going to give you, and then you can fill in your details.
Okay, great.
Awesome. So this is the other section. It has a few more details and then you'll submit. Client suffix and tax bracket is fixed, so you can just ignore that. And then the rest are pretty simple. For address, just make sure you put in your town.
Okay.
Okay, so for your bank details, you can, this is basically where your dividends are going to go. Dividends are payments that the companies that you invest in give to all their shareholders, usually annually. So you're going to choose where that will go. Will it be to your bank or by a check, right? So let's choose bank, or let's choose check. If you choose bank, you just put in your bank details, and that's where you're going to receive all your dividend payments. So since you put in check, that's fine. You go to your PO box. Now just put in the username that you want to use and your password. Okay, awesome. So you don't have to actually upload any documents. It's fine. Just hit create. I accept the terms and conditions. I should read those and then create account, and you're done.
Oh, fantastic. Wow,
Yes.
that was fast.
Yeah, that was quick. Just 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And now what's gonna happen is you're gonna receive an email saying they've received an automatic email. They've received. They're gonna go through it and open your account. Should happen about the same day.
Okay.
This is a message, the welcome message that you're going to get once they open your account. Usually takes, as I said, 1 day to 2 days max. And they just give you some details, how to put money in your account, whether it's bank or M-Pesa, and instructions on to register on any of the platforms. So AIB DigiTrader has 3 platforms: online, app, and USSD. You can use any of them to trade. So once you get your CDS number, which is in this email, you use it to register on any of the platforms that you want to use. You can use multiple, and then you'll get your username and password.
Okay.
And then from then on, you just use your username and password.
Okay.
All right? All right, so let's enter the platform. So I clicked on the online trading platform. Click on register now.
And then you put in your ID or passport, but let's, I think your name's ID, I don't know. Okay, and then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. Okay, and then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. Okay. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your ID. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you put in your password. And then you put in your email address. And then you
Yeah, and soon after you receive your username and login password for the platform. So let's just log in and start. So this is the first screen that you're going to see once you log in. And I know a couple of these things look unfamiliar, but they're quite simple once you understand. So for example, Market Watch, it just shows you all the stocks that are available. And what usually happens on the trading platforms is that the names of the companies are written in short form. But once you click on a company, it will show you the full name of the company, right? So for example, you can see ABSA, ARM, BAMB. If you click on it, it'll show you it's Bamburi. And then if you click on it, it gives you some more information about the company. So you can see the change in price that day. You can see the volume traded, how many shares were traded, things like that, the highest price and the lowest price that day. Just important information that investors can use to choose how to invest, right? But we'll get to that. Okay, something else is my watch list. My watch list is basically where you choose certain stocks that you want to watch. Here we've put Safaricom, but you can put any of the stocks that you're investing in. So you don't have to go and look at all the stocks and start scrolling. You can move important stocks here and then you can see them at first glance.
Okay.
Right? And then stock picks is basically just the stocks that you picked. We'll skip that for now. Trade is where we're gonna come back and actually buy and sell shares on this video.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then modify or cancel is when you've bought or sold a share before it's executed, before it actually is bought or sold on the market, because they're not bought or sold immediately. Sometimes you can come back quickly and modify or cancel if you change your mind.
Okay.
So let's say you said you want to buy 5 shares, you say, oh wait, I want to buy 10 shares. You'd click here, see the orders that are still pending and modify them to whatever you want.
Okay.
Am I making sense so far?
Yes.
All right, so the statement is basically where everything that you've traded that day or that time, you can put in a timeline. It will show you how much you've made, how much you've used, and just all the details of the trades that you've made.
Okay.
Right? And then we have portfolio valuation, which shows you your portfolio. So after you bought a couple of stocks, you'll have a portfolio of stocks. So it will show you the value of all your stocks. It will show you their price and just a bunch of other details about the stocks that you have. So here is where you can see if you've made money or lost money so far.
Okay.
Yeah, it gives you the total value. Okay, and then executions, the trades that have executed during a certain period of time. And order status is where you check if you have orders that are still pending. Fund transfer is when you want to take money out of your account. So this is where you're gonna go and you're gonna see your balance, and you can put in withdraw this amount, and then it will be sent to your M-Pesa or to your bank.
Okay.
So once you put in the amount you want to withdraw, it will ask you, do you want to use M-Pesa? And if not M-Pesa, then it will go to the bank.
Okay.
Right? All right. So far so good. Any questions?
Yes, actually, how can I make money on the stock market?
Okay, you jumped straight to the what everyone's waiting to hear. So how much money you can make depends on which stocks you've invested in and also how much you've invested in. So like everything in life, how much you put in is basically how much you stand to gain. So how you make money is in 2 different ways. There's dividends, as I spoke about earlier, and there's capital gains. Capital gains just means the changes in the price of the stocks that you own. So if we start with capital gains, suppose the whole point of stock investing, if you're trying to benefit from capital gains or price changes, is to buy low and sell high. You hear that everywhere. Buy low, sell high. So you come into the market or buy the stocks when you believe they're low and therefore they have space to rise. And when they've gone up in price, you sell them. So that difference is the profit that you make. You can do this after years, you can do this after days. So that's how people, whether they're short-term or long-term investors, make money. Another thing is once you own stocks as a shareholder, you're entitled to something called dividends. Companies don't have to give dividends. They don't have to declare they're giving dividends. But if they do give dividends, you will definitely receive some if you own their stocks. So these are just payments that they give out to people who own their shares once a year, twice a year. Some companies are known for giving out dividends, Safaricom and many of the banks. And a dividend is basically linked to how many shares you own. So if you own, so when they declare dividends, they say we're going to pay out 5 shillings per share. So if you have 10,000 shares, then you get 50,000 shillings when they pay out dividends. You don't really have to do anything. You just have to be an owner of the share. Any more questions, or should we go on?
No, go on. Thanks.
Okay, so now we're going to buy some shares.
Okay, great.
What shares do you want to buy?
Depends. What shares are there?
Do you have any idea what shares to buy?
No, I don't. But
That's fine. You told me in the beginning you have no exposure to the stock market. So the way, okay, basically it's good that you're honest. Some people enter the stock market and just buy any shares whose names they know. They'll buy KPLC, KQ, they'll buy Bamburi because they've had these names before. But that's not the right way to invest in stocks. There are 3 different ways that you can use to decide what to invest in. One is electing an investment manager. So someone like you who has no exposure but still wants to invest in stocks. Why don't you give your portfolio to someone who's been doing this for years, knows exactly how to analyze the stocks, and they'll buy the stocks for you. They'll give you a call, have a conversation, and do the trading for you, or advise you and you do the trading for yourself. So the difference in fees is very little. It's about 1,000 shillings per year.
oh wow.
And the commission is just slightly more. So I'll tell you a bit about the fees later on, but it's by 1% or so. So you can do that. The second thing you can do is follow the stock recommendations. So for AIB Access Africa, they give monthly recommendations and weekly recommendations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can go to the website and just have a scroll, see what they're saying, which ones are long term, which ones are short term, and invest based on that. Or give them a call and say, I saw this on your recommendations, this is what I want, and maybe they can give you a bit more personalized advice.
Okay.
The third thing is to actually know the companies that you're investing in. Let's say Safaricom, how do they make their money? What are their costs? What do their costs look like? Their management, their financial statements. Have a look through. Have they been making losses for a long? So those are just the kinds of questions, or there are many more that you should ask yourself as an investor, right? So what we're gonna do, because you have no exposure, is go have a look at what the analysts are saying from AIB Access on what to invest in, right? So quite simple. Just gonna go to the website. So this is the website, and once you get here, you can go straight to research, and if you scroll, you'll see stock recommendations right there at the bottom. So once you click on stock recommendations, you'll see that they give weekly stock recommendations, right? And this is basically where they update people on what the stocks they recommended that month, how they're doing. And they also give you like any short-term stocks to trade, right? So let's click on February stock picks, given it's February. Awesome. So here we are. We're just going to go to the bottom, and here they give a bunch of stocks that we should invest in because they have growth prospects, and there's some upward mobility there. So the share of the price could go up, and then we could sell and make a profit, right? So these are usually long-term stocks. So we're going to choose, by long-term I mean at least 4 years. So these are people who are putting money away, and they know if they invest in this in 4 years' time, the price is gonna increase. With the weekly recommendations, you can find some short-term stocks, but let's just, since we're here, let's pick some long-term stocks.
Okay, great.
Which stocks do you want to invest in?
Okay, let's go with Diamond Trust Bank.
DTB?
Yes.
Anything else?
Okay, DTB, and let's also go with Britam.
Britam, okay.
Yeah.
So if you have time, you can go through why they recommended those stocks, but we're gonna skip that for now and go back to the trading platform. Okay, now that we've decided what shares to buy, you can't buy shares without money, right?
Yes.
So you have to put in the money that you want to invest, and that means you need to fund your account. So if you remember in our welcome email, we had some details on how to fund. So you can fund using M-Pesa, or bank transfer. Okay, so we have 5,000 in your account. You can just check in your statement and you'll be able to see that. With M-Pesa, it's immediate. Now we're going to trade. You can trade.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so you see the interface is quite simple to understand. It's quite straightforward. So the security is just the stocks that you want to buy.
Okay.
So you had said Britam and DTB.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you start typing that in, you'll see the drop down. There we go. ET normal just means you're buying more than 100 shares. So if you're buying less than 100 shares, that's ET odd.
Oh, I see.
But
Oh,
I guess, okay. And then quantity, how many shares do you want to buy?
Let me buy 200 shares today.
Okay. And then price. So you see, first, that price right there, before you type in any price, the platform shows you the range of prices based on demand and supply in the market.
Okay.
So you don't have to go all the way back to Market Watch and look at the prices that are available for your shares. It will show you.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah. And if you put in a price above or below that, it might not execute because these are the prices that are being accepted for demand and supply.
Okay.
So there's always someone on the other side of the transaction. And if they're selling you their shares, they're not going to sell to you at a price that's too low. So that's 6.30. Try not to go below that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go for 6.5.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, and then valid up to is just the date. So as I said, there's someone on the other side of the transaction. So orders don't always execute immediately, right? Sometimes they stay pending because sometimes there's no supply. You may want to buy shares, but there's no supply. You may want to sell shares, but there's no demand. Though, I mean, we have a good market, so there is. But this valid up to allows you to put in a date after which the order just cancels.
I'm going to go for the 26th.
Okay, that's fine. And then click buy. Great, awesome. You bought some shares. How'd you feel?
I feel really good. Thanks.
Wow, okay. So you bought 200 Britam shares at 6.5 shillings. That's just your client code right there. Okay. So they break down the order, right? Your order value was 1,300, remember that? And then the brokerage is the fee that the broker charges. Okay. So for AIB Access, their fee is 1.3%, which is of the value of your order. Okay. So 1.3% of 1,300 is actually 16.9, or it should be 16.9. Yeah. And then the transaction charges is just VAT. Okay. Tax, right? The tax man, and then the net consideration is just the full value now of all those added. And then so you can see it's 13, and then you've paid an extra 26 shillings. Yes. Of your. So those are the fees, and then there's only one other fee, which is the annual fee, which is 200 shillings per year. Oh, wow. So those are actually the only fees when it comes to trading on this platform. Awesome. Okay, so submit your order. And it's done. Oh, wow. So now that you bought some shares, what you do is, for example, if you want to modify the order or cancel it, you'd click modify or cancel and you'd be able to see your Britam shares right there. And then you'd modify, right? So do you have any questions for me?
Yes. What is the least amount of money one can invest with?
Or the minimum? Okay, that's a good question. So because of the annual fee of 200 shillings, and then you have to buy some shares on top of that, I'd say maybe 300 shillings because you can buy up to one share. And the thing with shares is they have a range of prices. Some shares cost less than 1 shilling and some shares above 100 shillings. So then it would depend on which shares you're buying. Okay. So if you're buying shares for less than 1 shilling, I mean, you can put in 50 shillings on top of the annual fee. And you'd be fine. Okay. Yeah.
How soon can I sell these shares, and how soon can I make my profit?
To answer your first question of when you can sell the shares that you've just bought, well, actually, you've not yet bought them because the order is pending, but it should execute soon. Once you've executed, that's your transaction date. And in the Kenyan stock market, there's something called T+3. So transaction date plus 3 days. Okay. What that means is that you only start to own the shares 3 days after the transaction date. That's when you're the owner of the shares and now you can do what you want with them. Okay. So you'd be able to sell these shares 3 days after the day that they execute. And with selling shares, the same thing. So once you sell your shares, after they are bought by someone else, after it executes, then you have 3 days before you can withdraw the funds. Okay. Right? With the profit question, this depends. So you bought this as a long-term share. So this is someone who actually wants to sit on it for a while. But the profit that you'd make could be the difference in price. So Britam would maybe go up by maybe 10 shillings or something. So then you'd sell your Britam shares and make that difference. You bought them at a certain price and now it's higher, so the difference is what you pocket, right? And during that period of time, if Britam gives out dividends, the payments to shareholders, then you also benefit from that.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Yeah, so that's how people make money on the stock market, basically. And now you understand how to use a trading platform, and you bought some shares.
I know, Ray.
And you're a stock market investor.
Fantastic, thank you.
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you so much, Nambura.
Mm.